Hello and welcome to Forex London Session live stream. First of all, we will redo our analysis for today. Today in gold, monthly candle is little bit bullish. If we look at weekly, the weekly candle has created a lower wick. Just by looking at the big body previous weekly candle, I can anticipate that we can keep pushing up, but we need to break below this low at 1755 area to probably continue pushing bearish if we have bearish anticipation in mind. But we need to wait to see how candles will close. And if we look at daily time frame, the previous daily candle has closed uh, the 2nd August daily candle has closed a bullish candle with a huge rejection to the upside, and previous daily candle has closed a bullish candle which may be a retest of this area to potentially keep pushing up, or on the other hand we need to break below previous daily candle low to continue pushing down. Yeah, this is the information so far in just by looking at daily time frame. In H4 time frame, we are at 1772 area. There is a clean move of 120 pips, but we are waiting to see if we can capture this move. H1 candle has closed and the hourly candle has closed a bullish candle, and which is a good thing. If we look at M30 time frame, we have closed a bullish M30 candle, and if this M30 candle creates a low first and starts to break above the high of previous M30 candle, I will execute a buy position to potentially secure 20-30 pips from this trade. And if we look at M15, yeah, this trade do make sense once we break above this high. By placing a stop loss of 15 pips, we can secure like 10-12 pips, and this is all for gold. And if we look at GBP JPY, we will move to monthly time frame. The monthly candle has a rejection from 160 area and it is moving up. The previous monthly candle has closed bearish, so there is probability that we can continue pushing down, but we will look at smaller time frame. In weekly time frame, we have previous weekly candle basically closed bearish, and current weekly candle is moving bullish, but the whole idea is 2 days left in this weekly candle to close, and also today is a big news for GBP. At 4 almost 4 hours from now we will live stream this move. We may live stream this trade idea this news event, but we will see what will happen, how this weekly candle will react. On the other hand, we are also approaching an important and strong zone at 164.400, which is almost 150 pips away from current prices. So we need to look at it in more details. If we look at daily time frame, previous two daily candles were bearish with their huge rejection on Tuesday on 2nd of August, and we are just consolidating today. If we look at 4 hour time frame, we have basically created a support at 162.400 area. Yeah, at this point I will execute buy. Executed buys in gold. My stop loss will be 11 pips, and but the whole idea is the current 15-minute candle is only 4 minutes old. I should have actually waited for this. to break above previous candle high, but I executed this trade early on. So we'll see what happens. And yes, in GBP/JPY we are forming a resistance at 163 area. We have created support at 161.500 area, and we have another support which is a major support, because weekly candle has rejected from this area at 159.500 area. And if we look at H1 time frame, we are basically waiting for big news event from England. That's why price is consolidating. Overall, we are at a important zone at 163 area. If we look at M15, there is very little to no volume, so waiting at this point makes more sense. If we go to gold, I will take some risk off from this trade, and I will re-add back my risk once we starts to break above previous candle high. And yes, we will just wait. In GBP JPY we have broken above that area. I was basically anticipating this breakout, but the whole problem was we have small body candles. We have previous four very small body candles, and we were almost closing at same area. That's why I avoided this trade. And in gold, I will re-add back my risk, because I believe that I have executed this trade early. And yeah, we will wait. And there is probability we will be able to secure 10-12 pips from this trade, but we'll see what will happen. 14 pips of stop loss. There is a probability for prices to keep pushing up. That's why I executed on this trade. Let's see what will happen. It's too early to basically interpret anything. And yeah, the whole idea is to wait for this trade, and let's see if we can get like 10-12 pips. Actually, I have a difficulty in spotting where our orders are. This trade is basically valid for 21 more minutes, and yeah, there is probability we will either hit take profits or stop losses on this trade before 21 minutes. Let's see what will happen. Since we are consolidating for so long in this area, if now prices touch my entry point or come below that entry point, I will manage my risk and I will close some percentage of my position. But we need to wait, I guess. We are just waiting. On the other hand, we are also ready to manage risk if things go against us. 2 minutes left in candles to close. I have closed some percentage of my position. Why? Because the candle basically broken its own body. That's why. And we will manage the rest of trade also. Candles have closed and I have also closed some percentage of my position. Place SL at entry point and let the rest run. Basically, although we moved up, but I have done an early execution, so that is why I lost on this trade, just because of my early execution. M30 candle is also open, and there is probability we will move like 10 12 more pips in our direction. If we look at GBP JPY, we are moving up in these 5 M30 candles. This is 60 pip of move, and yeah, we will just wait for GBP JPY. We are waiting for interest rate news, and in gold we are also waiting. Waiting in GJ, in gold, waiting for prices to hit our take profits, and yeah, I have basically done wrong trade. This was a wrong trade, so that's why we are still in loss. So we are in 14-15 pips profit. Waiting in GBP JPY, waiting for these candles to close. M30 candle will close in 6 minutes. We will see how this M30 candle will close. And also waiting for current M15 candle to close. If this M15 candle closes with a rejection wick, then I will close entire position. we are just waiting for candles to close. Basically, that early execution trade made me put me in loss if I haven't executed early. This was the winner of the week. I will say I could have secured every loss from this trade, but this is the way things are. And as I have already said that I am a beginner and I am learning to trade, and I am documenting my journey on YouTube and on my blogspot channel, so that anyone who come to me in like 1 year, 2 year or 3 year from now, they can find those resources very handy. So that's my whole reason to do live streams and maintaining a blogspot journal. All right, M30 candle has now closed. M30 candle has closed very bullish candle, and this I was basically anticipating this candle. That's why I executed on this trade, and yeah, we are basically 4-5 pips away from our take profit, but I will close everything at this point. The reason being, sometimes market just don't completely fill the wicks, and there is probability that current M30 candle will create a low first on this candle and then continue pushing up, or it can reject from this area altogether. So it all depends. For now, at least our London session is now over, because we have already took 3 trades in London session. 2 were losers and 1 was winner. We are still in a little bit of loss, but yeah, hope so. We will recover everything. Basically, I started making a lot of losses starting from 29th of July. We are still $40 down on this account, and let's see if we will recover these losses and put ourselves in profit. And also remember that I am not in a rush to recover these losses. In fact, I love the fact that I faced these losses, because I have learned a lot of things. And if you look at my losses, look at this loss, like zero point 0.1 lot, the loss was around $2. Loss was $6, 4, 5, 4, 5. This was basically a very bad trade, and I didn't actually managed my risk on this trade. So we are basically having very small losses, and only one trade will basically cover all these losses. So we are waiting for that trade basically. And in GBP JPY there is very high volatile event in 3.5 hours from now. So I am waiting for that event. I will not do news trading, but I will execute a trade before or after the trade. After the news, I will not do or put a trade like buy stop or sell stop on news candle. That's against my trading plan because of the fact that my broker, this was a news event yesterday. It was like 18 pips of slippage in gold, and this is just the slippage that we can see from charts. Other than that, there will be around thanks Danny FX for staying with us. And yeah, it is just a process, we know. And there is basically a note in my journal that says whenever you take a loss, experience that loss, feel that loss, and learn from that loss and just spit it out. Losses are not bad in my opinion. Losses are only bad if it basically activates the defense mechanism in your mind system. Losses is part of the game, it is good, and losses are bad when it triggers and puts you into an emotional state where you start doing revenge trading or doing like random trades. Like I have done some random trades this week. So basically I knew that whenever I will hit a loss there is probability that I will do a random trade. Although these trades, let's for example I look at these trades. If we look at time interval, each trade is basically taken at least 1 hour later from the first trade. So basically I am not doing revenge trading, but I am not sticking to my trading plan. uh, I mean I am not following my trading plan 100%. I hope so in future we will just progress, but it all depends. All right, now we are just waiting. In GBP JPY we are moving up. This is around 40-50 pips of move. The previous 6 M30 candles are bullish, and if we look at H1 we are also moving up, but the whole idea is these are small body candles, so we can't execute on these trade maybe on these sort of candles. So maybe we are moving up to potentially push down on GPP interest rate news event, but it is just an anticipation. We are not going to execute on this anticipation. Now we will wait for candles to close. In gold, if we look at hourly candle is straight bullish, like 33 pips of bullish candle, and a rejection area is around 20 pips away from current market prices, and M30 candle has basically created a low, and there is probability that we will move up like 20 pips, but it's not basically worth the risk, because it will be risky, because we have already moved like 50 pips from the lows. Also, I can assume that volume is low in London session because we have high volatile event in later on in London session. Now we are just waiting for these candles to close and waiting and basically completing our screen time in front of charts, because the moves are already over in my opinion, and we are just waiting. All right, GJ is moving up, pushing up. GJ is pushing up, man. We have resistance almost 50 pips away. I was basically planning my buys above this area, 163 area, but the whole issue was we didn't get to execute on this trade because we didn't get any retracement or things like that. So I just decided that I will wait. Yesterday I executed this trade, sell trade in gold. It was very good trade, but the whole problem with this trade was I executed this trade early on. Basically, if this execution was on this next candle, I could have placed my stop loss like 11 pips, and this was a clean move of 40 pips. But I basically executed 5 minutes earlier. So today in gold, the same mistake again happened. I executed this trade 5 minutes earlier. This trade I should have waited for, and the same mistake basically I have done on Tuesday, where I executed early. If I waited for 5 more minutes, I could have secured this move like 47 pips. But our risk management is saving us and making sure that we will end longer in our forex journey. And I am also trying to make sure that I will not repeat these mistakes later on. We are now just waiting for candles to close. In 7 minutes, candles will close, and then maybe we will have a clear indication. We are just waiting for at this point, and I may execute a short position in gold by placing a stop loss of 17 pips to potentially target this area, because there is probability at this point we will keep dropping because of the fact that we have rejection on H1 candle first, and we are creating an other H1 H1 rejection. But for those shorts, I want M30 candle to close bearish, and then I will execute. Basically this trade right in here, I was anticipating shorts in here. I executed this trade, but it didn't play it out. I will give this trade a second chance in here. We will readjust our zone to let's wait for this current M15 candle to close in about 3 minutes. M30 candle is closing bearish, M15 is also bearish at this point, but we want these candles to close in around 1 minute. Alright, candles have now closed at this point. In gold, I am anticipating shorts, but the whole issue is the H1 candle has closed bullish, which is a concern, and H1 H4 candle is also bullish, which is around to close in 1 hour. So I'm still waiting for prices to create an upper wick first, and then I will execute a short position to get at least 15-16 pips from that trade. And if the volume is with us, we can even get like 34 pips, but for that we need to wait in here. The whole idea is the previous H1 candle has closed bullish, so there is probability that current H1 candle will also keep pushing up, but there is a probability otherwise also, and we will look to see if we can get an execution in short. And on the other hand, in GBP JPY we are moving up. The previous 6 candles are bullish, and yeah, waiting for retracement till 163 area, and I may plan my buys in here, but for now we need to wait. Alright, I will place my sell stop if we break below previous candle low. I am anticipating prices will keep dropping, and stop loss will be around 13 pips. And yes, in GBP JPY we are also waiting. Previous 3 H1 candles in GBP JPY has closed bullish. So I am basically anticipating some sort of retracement in GBP JPY. If current 15-minute candle break above the high of previous 15-minute candle, I will delete this sell stop. DJ, we are also waiting. In gold, we are also waiting. Yeah, I was anticipating this, that the current H1 candle will also be bullish just by looking at previous H1 candle, but the whole idea is we have almost filled the wick in first 7 minutes of this H1 candle. So we need to wait. We may start consolidating in here. But we will see how this M15 candle will close. Waiting for 5 more minutes. All right, I have removed my sell stop because if we are to move down, we would already have moved down. So yeah, we will now see. We will just wait and see what we can get. In my opinion, we will have a very volatile pre-New York session, and we will start streaming at pre-New York session, and we will try to get some good trades. And yes, we will just wait.